Welcome back to part 2 of our Turkey series with Anuja, where we are covering everything you need to know before visiting this unique country that is a perfect blend of East and West. In the last episode, we got a glimpse of her experience in Istanbul. Now, it's time to take off, quite literally, as she takes us to Cappadocia, the land of hot air balloons and breathtaking landscapes. But before that, let's learn a little bit more about Anuja. Let's dive in.
I'm actually based in Mumbai. Traveling is very close to my heart. But from the profession front, I am a marketing professional. I'm a management graduate. Before some time, I was actually having a full time job working as a marketing professional in a real estate firm. However, for some time, I've taken a sabbatical from my work to look after my kids. And again, parallelly, pursuing my hobby of content creation on travel. So currently, I am focusing on my passion and hobby, that is creating content on travel, food, destinations. And that is where I keep sharing my experiences on my social media channels.
That's really nice. Let's talk about the second part of the trip, Cappadocia. I want to know about your hot air balloon experience.
Highlight. So Cappadocia, you have to take a flight from Istanbul. We were exploring on our own and we wanted to travel by local transport. What we did is we were going to come back to Istanbul again because our flight back to Mumbai and US was from Istanbul only. From Cappadocia, you will not get international flights. It's a small place there. So you mostly have to come to Istanbul to take your flight back home. So what we did is when we were staying, we kept our big luggage in the hotel itself. The hotel is very cooperative. So we just packed a small bag for ourselves, whatever for 2 days it is required, like a mini bag, small carry-on bag. So they will try and arrange and keep your luggage safely. So because we had a small bag, we didn't take a cab transfer to the airport. We wanted to save money, use it for shopping and eating. We said, let's explore how to go to the airport through a local transport. So the hotel helped us in a very nice manner. From here, you have to go to Taksim Square. And from Taksim Square, they gave us a chart basically. Because we had a carry-on bag, we didn't need a cab to the airport. We said, let's go. So we left early. And from Taksim Square, there is this Hawa bus, which is a special service only to the airport. These are buses, shuttle buses services, which transfer to the airport. So the buses are plying every half an hour. So we took the Hawa bus from till Taksim Square. Also, we went by tram, walked to Taksim Square, and the bus was parked. And it took around 151 lira, Turkish lira, to the airport, which is hardly anything. Otherwise, if you take a cab to the airport, they charge around 40, which is around 4,000 rupees. And because time and we didn't have a lot of luggage, we said, let's take local transport. So that's where we took the Hawa bus to the airport. And from there, we went to Cappadocia. We took the local flight to Cappadocia. So Cappadocia is a place it's another a very historical place. These rock formations are formed by volcanic eruptions. That's why the entire landscape of Cappadocia is rocky form. So these rock formations are used for making restaurants and hotels, which has become the attraction for tourists. Staying in a cave hotel. If you stay in a cave hotel, you will see a nice carved inside because these are very huge rock formations and the hotels are carved inside it. And so Cappadocia is symbolic to hot air balloon. This image which on my background is hot air balloon. And basically, this is how the place has got the importance and it's become very touristy. It's very dreamy, floating in that hot air balloon amidst the rock formation and thousands of maybe hundreds of hot air balloons flying next to you, and you are in middle of one hot air balloon. So that is very symbolic. And so when I went to Cappadocia, I had only 2 days. We had to choose between what we want to do and what we can skip. So of course, this is the hot air balloon, which is only in the morning before sunset. Okay, it doesn't happen after 10 o'clock. It becomes very hot because you fly high, and when the sun sets in, it becomes hot. They don't fly noon. It is a pre sunrise. So you will start from your hotel only at 4 a.m. in the morning. You will have to reach there, which will take around 45 minutes, 1 hour. Then they will make the balloon ready and all of that. and there are around maybe 50 people or something which can stand in the basket with one or two pilots, and they will start flying. So before, the highlight is you have to start before the sunset. That is what everyone aim for, because once you start flying high, the view of the sunrise is amazing. So I think I said sunset earlier. It is sunrise. So you have ticket before the sunrise. The view is absolutely amazing. And like I said, it's like maybe 1.5 hour. And the flight will take around 1.5 hours. So it will take you around the entire Cappadocia place. So there is a place called Goreme. That is a name of a place in Cappadocia where major hot air balloons will take flight from there. And you have to take it from there because that is the place where you will get a very good view. There are hot air balloons which will fly from other places also, but you will not get that beautiful view. If you want the view, you will have to fly from Goreme only. Again, the best part is the representative. Once you book the hotel balloon, their representative will come in a car. They will pick you up from your hotel and they will drop you at that place. And after the flight also gets over, they will drop you back to your hotel. So that will be around 9:30. They will drop you back at your hotel. So it is up to you if you want to relax that day or you want to take another activity, because you've got up pretty early in the morning, around 3 o'clock, 3:30 you get up for this flight. So it's up to you if you want to do another activity on that day, or you want to skip and just relax in the hotel. So yeah, this is hot air balloon, which takes around 1.5 hours. And so after the flight gets over, they have a nice setup of a champagne drink. They will set up this nice table there for all the passengers who took the flight. And also they will give you a nice certificate that you've flown this with us. So it's like a nice show-off thing that I've taken this hot air. It was balloons on that certificate. So pretty nice, very amazing experience. I did it for the first time. I had always seen on social media. I had seen in movies like Tiger 3 and all. If you've seen that movie, this is shown in that. So that's where this place was always there in my mind. Oh, this is Cabot. And it is truly a dreamy moment. Whatever maybe in your video or movie or social media, it is exactly the same. You will get the same feeling. It is absolute wow.
It lives up. Instagram versus reality match. Yeah.
Lives up, yeah. Real versus real is actually real.
Did you have to look out for any weather conditions, etc.? There are certain conditions, right, in which they only fly the balloons, etc. So are you monitoring that?
No, so what happens is, see, anyway, April and May is the right time to visit Turkey. But with hot air balloon, what happens is it is completely on weather conditions. How much wind you get. So you cannot fly beyond a certain wind capacity. So that only those hot air balloon vendors will come to know. Even if you have done booking or booked in advance and your flight doesn't happen next day, you will get a full refund because it is completely on weather. They will come to know the previous day from the weather department. Met department will inform them whether it is conducive to fly or no, and accordingly they will inform all the passengers. One day before you will come to know, and it is purely luck. You really can't do anything. No under table, no referencing, nothing. If the weather is conducive, you will get the flight. If it is not, you have to miss it. You can't do anything. Then you have to wait one more day and try your luck the next day.
Well, you have to take some chances and be ready to.
Yeah, so if hot air balloon is the highlight of your trip, you should keep one day as a backup for yourself. Because then you will become upset and you will have a frown face coming back from Cappadocia that I went all the way to Cappadocia to do this activity and I couldn't. So it's better to keep one day as a backup.
Yeah. So other than the hot air balloon, did you get a chance to explore anything else?
Yeah. So apart from hot air balloon, there are these tours, full day tours, which take place. So there are two tours. One is green tour and other is red tour. So this is a full day tour which happens. They will take you to certain locations. They are historical locations, landmark locations, and they will talk about the historic background about that place, the entire history, the story behind this place. So we did green tour because depending upon our interest, we saw each other's spots. So we chose a green tour. However, both the tours are good and pretty. Both the tours will have a little bit of hiking. There will be a little bit of walking. So in Green Tour again, it starts around 9:30 in the morning. The representative will come in your hotel, pick up, because they will have a mini bus. So there, like I said, they will take you to small destination, talk about the history of that place. So first we went was Pigeon Valley. So the Pigeon Valley is a very unique valley there. It's a nice scenic place where you will see a lot of pigeons sitting out there, and they have these pigeon holes which are carved inside the caves. So basically, these are their homes, pigeon homes. So these pigeons were used by them back then in history, as of course as the messengers to carry messages and letters from one place to another. And another important thing is these pigeon droppings were used earlier as a fertilizer for their vineyards. Yeah, so that is why these pigeons are housed in that entire Pigeon Valley. That is why it is called Pigeon Valley. So they were used as a source of like a medicine, a messenger. So that is why the entire area is built up around Pigeon Valley, and it's a very scenic place. So these are stops. So this was our first stop. Then you stop there, you look by, the guide will. So there is a guide, okay? There is a nice English speaking guide who will give you the referencing, they will give you tell about history, the importance of that place. And then you have opportunity to click selfies, pictures, and all of that. And then move on to your next spot. And from there, we went to another place, which was like a jewelry place. The next place was jewelry, wherein they house this then Turkish crystals. They're like a jewelry. They'll have crystals, they'll have diamonds and all of that. They're very precious diamonds there. So you have the opportunity to buy. If you want to buy, you can buy. So they will stop there for some time. You will have some other souvenirs also, which are economical. If you are interested, you can buy. From there, the third stop is Ilhara Valley. So that Ilhara Valley is a very interesting place. So it's like a nice stream of water which passes by. It's a very scenic place, and you'll have all the rocks and the trees surrounding the lake. It's a very peaceful place. You'll see a lot of like these ducks, ducklings, turkey, the animal turkey, housed across the lake, the water. And the nice, very pleasant weather there because it's water and mountains. And you'll have to hike it up. It's a 2.5 kilometer walk to go to Ilhara Valley, and of course coming back also another 2.5 kilometer walk. But while you walk, you feel a little tired. But once you reach there, it is so scenic, so pleasant, amazing. And these are very natural landmarks there. Everything is natural, and the best part is they've preserved it very well. Clean, it's hygienic, and people really follow all the rules there. They will not litter and things like that. So you feel like sitting there for some more time, maybe have something, a drink or so. So Ilhara Valley one was another scenic attraction of this tour. The another thing is lunch is included in this. They will take you to a very famous local restaurant, a Turkish restaurant, and whatever you are comfortable with, veg, non-veg, they will offer you. So of course I'm a vegetarian, so I indulge in a vegetarian food, and even vegetarian food was very tasty there. They will offer you lentil soup, breads, and they have a mixture of a lot of vegetables along with rice. So I had an amazing time relishing the veg food in Turkey. So yeah, so that was Ilhara Valley. The next is the highlight of Green Tour is Underground City. Okay. This underground city is called Derit Kuyu Underground City. Underground City is a highlight of Cappadocia, wherein it is built 8 floors below the ground.
8 floors. Oh my god.
Ground level, you have to go. They are built up 8 floors below the ground. So these were built by the locals many years back, decades back, centuries back, to take refugee from the rulers. They were Portuguese or some Russians who were ruling that time, and they will take you down 8 floors down. You'll have to climb. You'll have to go down 8 floors, and the lanes are so narrow. It is very small. You cannot simply walk because you have built this as a refuge. So you have to hide. The objective is to hide from refugees. So the lanes are absolutely tiny, narrow. You have to bend yourself down and walk. So inside this, you can see their dining area, You can see their kitchen, their bedroom, everything like a normal household, how we have spaces, exactly in the same fashion they have built. But it is incredible. It is to see how they built this up ages back, such a narrow, and how they lived inside such narrow and tiny rooms. It is indeed amazing to see how they lived, because we had to literally bend ourselves down, walk. So they, of course, they will warn you earlier that if you have any issues walking, bending down, and all, so don't take this tool. You can skip this. But I think for us, it was pretty manageable. So that was another highlight of this trip, the underground city. It was amazing to know history, how they lived, how those locals lived back then. And how they have maintained it. There are some lights there so that you can see how they live. This is their dining area, living area, kitchen, bedroom, washroom.
Yeah, sounds fascinating. I can't still believe it that it's 8 floors down.
Yeah, the guide is there who will help you, because once you go inside alone, you will get lost, because there are lanes, narrow lanes. You will not come to know how to come out. So there is a guide who will help you, and there are other tours also which come along with you. So there will be a point in between, maybe you'll just bank with each other. The space inside itself is so small, so tiny, and you have so many tourists who have come inside to see that place. So you have to be careful there, but it was an amazing experience. Amazing.
On adventures in Cappadocia.
Cappadocia is all about adventure, all about adventure. And there was this one monastery. Basically, it's a cathedral, which is called Selime Monastery, which is again housed in a cave. You have to again walk it up. It is carved inside the rocks. Amazing view once you go up the monastery. You get amazing view there.
What an adventure! From cave hotels to stunning sunrises, Cappadocia is truly a dream destination. But where did Anuja stay during her Turkey trip? In the next episode, she shares her experiences with accommodations in both Istanbul and Cappadocia. Stay tuned and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more travel stories. Until next time, happy travels!